Ho, ho, ho! Merry Vlogmas!
Hey, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Vlogmas, day number 9. That's right, we're almost in the double digits. Cash update, she is doing fantastic. If you don't know what's going on with Cash, I'll link it up here somewhere and you'll see that was yesterday's vlog. Her cancer treatment is doing really well and she is doing real well. She's just resting right now. She went on a little walk. Everything is great with Cash so far. All right, on to the meat of this vlog, which is going to be introducing you to these. You may not remember what these are because turns out I don't think a lot of people read them anymore, but they should. So, little story is I did not go to college, so I feel like basically ever since high school I've been on a constant urge to learn, insatiable vacuum of information. I don't know what's going on with me, but I've just never wanted to stop learning. While I was in school, I was like, get me the hell out of here so that way I can start a business and make money and all that stuff. And then once I started doing that, I was like, man, there is a lot in this world that I don't know. And ever since then, I've been reading, researching, and learning. And I think it's super, super important. So without further ado, the first book I'm going to introduce you to, you may already know it because the author is extremely popular. Robert Kiyosaki. He, of course, wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and this book, and probably about 50 others, okay? But this book was gifted to me all the way back in 8th grade by one of my best friends, Gordon. And little did he know, he took a little spark that I had in middle school, which was to basically be my own boss, and then gave me this book, which then proceeded to basically be gasoline on that spark, and yeah. High school could not end fast enough. I wanted to start a business. I wanted to get going and all that good stuff. And this book really helped with it. It's a very easy read, which was great at the time or any time. Make sure if you want a nice, easy read and maybe some motivation. He talks about how he got started and all that good stuff in this book. So make sure you check it out. I will link all the books down below, of course. Next book up is a much denser read, but it's one that I absolutely... I enjoyed actually reading from the sense that I don't know much about how the body works in regards to food and how those two intersect. And this book does that in spades. Now, of course, it also advocates for probably one of the best lifestyle diets out there. I know I said it. Is the Whole30. Now, the Whole30, of course, means no preservatives, basically nothing in a package. Just produce, protein, and all that good stuff. But this book is really awesome. I'm not going to belabor it a lot, but it's definitely worth a check out. It starts with food. Next up is 2 books. That's right, these 2. Now, Details, the Men's Style Manual, and then F Yeah, Menswear. I bought at the exact same time, and what I really loved about these books is that I had absolutely no fashion sense. Now, I was starting to get some success in my younger and mid-20s, and I was just like, oh man, what do I do here? My sense of fashion was basically from my grandpa, which, his was have 2 Carhartt coats, one for doing all the work around the ranch, and then another one to go eat in town. I'm being serious, I just had no sense. So it was good to pick up these 2 books because what they did was they kind of told me okay, if you have brown shoes, you should probably also be wearing a brown belt. When should you be wearing jeans? What can you wear with jeans? What should you be wearing with a suit? What's the difference between a suit and a tux? And all these different little things that I think is just nice to know as a man. Next up, The Worldly Philosophers by Hellbronner. A funny story about this book is I was actually in a Barnes & Noble, that's right, in person, buying a book, something you can hold. It is crazy to think about, isn't it? Especially now, this year, just in general with technology and whatever. I was there, and I was trying to figure out what book should I read about economics. I don't know anything about it. It's something I wanted to know more about, or at least a base level amount of knowledge, since I didn't go to college and all that. I was there, and an old man goes, oh, you're interested in an economics book? And I said, yeah. I go, I don't know anything about economics, and I was looking at Freakonomics, and there's a ton of big marketed economics books out there. And he goes, oh, well, don't read any of those. He goes, read this book, The Worldly Philosophers. And I go, oh, really, I should read that? And he's just like, yeah, I'm a economics professor at DU, which Denver University, because I was in Denver at the time. And I was like, okay, well, I will take your recommendation and read it. And that I did, and this book is awesome. Turns out, like, the free market system, capitalism, and whatnot are actually relatively new concepts, you know, in the scheme of things. And this details, like, how it all came to be and all that good stuff. It's, like, a fantastic book. Highly recommend this one. Again, I'll put all the links down below. When I got back to reading a year or so ago, I picked up this book by Scott Adams, How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. This book is fantastic, easy read. It was a great, like, get me back to reading type book. He is the artist and writer, creator of the comic Dilbert. If you're not familiar with what comics are, they were in newspapers. I'm assuming everyone knows what all this stuff is. But one big takeaway from this book that I really loved is that basically he says something to the effect of, you have a glass of willpower every single day. So make sure that you're doing things where it doesn't overflow. And I said, well, that's very interesting. So, like, his example would be like, if you have a diet, let's say, and you're only eating crap that you don't want, well, breakfast, you start adding, then lunch, and then dinner. Like, all of a sudden, your cup's getting almost full just from that. Now add in, okay, you wanted to work out, you don't like your workout, that adds a bunch, you know, and then all of a sudden, by the time dinner rolls around, let's say, it's already overflowing, and then you order out takeout. He just basically says, if you want to do things, make sure that you're doing things that you actually enjoy and that are easy, so that way you're not filling up this cup. Awesome way to explain something that I already really felt was already happening, but when I read the words, I was like, oh, that's such a great example. Great book. And last and final is a book that you may have heard about, Atomic Habits. This book is also pretty fantastic if you want to learn about, like, gaming your mind into doing things like good habits. Working out in the morning, or drinking water every morning, or whatever. One concept that is not new, but he details in this book pretty thoroughly, is the concept of stacking habits. So getting started with a really easy goal, let's say making the bed, or getting up and brushing your teeth, or drinking water in the morning, and then all of a sudden, after you drink water in the morning, you grab your shoes and you put them on, and then all of a sudden you're in the gym, and so on and so forth. It's also a very easy and fantastic read. Would highly recommend this book as well. And those are the books that I would recommend that are directly off my bookcase that I've really enjoyed throughout the years. Some of them are newer, some of them are older. Either way, all the links will be down in the description below. If you've read some of these books and you think that my recommendation sucked, or you would recommend me a new book, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I would love more book recommendations. That is day 9. Can you believe that's going to be double digits tomorrow of Vlogmas? I can barely believe it myself. Make sure that you like this video if you liked it, because the YouTube algorithm and blah, 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 and stuff like that. If you want to join me for the next 16 days of Vlogmas and the first double-digit day tomorrow, make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Other than that, I will see you tomorrow.